Let's take a bit of a squiz at the fantasy basketball waiver wire. Where are the moves going? Who's adding? Who's dropping? Who should you be looking at that maybe isn't getting the attention that they thoroughly deserve? Is it Michael Bolton?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I'm not a state, I'm a monster. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and we are available on all platforms. All right, let's just talk fantasy basketball waiver wire. We might as well get straight into talking about the ads and the drops. We'll have a streaming show coming up for Monday as well, so stick around for that later on. The waiver wire. It's one of those things, again, we try our best to cater to as many people as possible. Some of these players are long gone in your double onyx. They're done. Some of them are not. Some people just have wild amounts of players sitting on the waiver wire. And we're continually trying to reframe our ideas of who is available and what leagues are dead and all that sort of stuff. The number one player at the moment, though, that has been added, and this is relatively universal, is Jeremiah Fears. Because it does seem, at this point, that he has taken over that starting point guard spot for the New Orleans Pelicans. As weird as it is that that's the decision they've made, that is the decision they've made. He's up to 19% rostered on Yahoo. On our tracking numbers, which incorporates standard format 12-man leagues, 150 player deep, that sort of story, we track the leagues that of people using Basketball Monster as well to be able to get a better accurate idea of leagues that we assume are more active, how they're attacking this. Of course, there's no perfect number here, but he's up to 93% there. So he is the most added player. A lot of people have grabbed him, but of course, not all of you are in leagues that are that active. So why are people getting him? He started the last 3 games. Okay, he's playing around 30 minutes a night. He's averaging 12 points and 5.3 assists. The 5.3 assists, pretty good. It's giving Isaiah Collier, but it's pretty good. The 2.3 steals is carrying a lot of the work at the moment because he is a terrible shooter. 37.5% from the field, and I think you are probably going to have a rookie season where he is under 40% overall. That would be my guess. And he's under 30% from 3. He was a terrible 3-point shooter in college, and I think it's going to be the same here. So it makes sense to get out ahead of it. And I'll tell you what this player reminds me of a little bit, as I've just transitioned back to the full list. Rookie Quenton George, which at this time in his rookie season, we're like, all right, starting point guard, let's jump on him. Let's see what happens. And we'll give it until Thanksgiving and see where it goes. And then he got injured right before that. But he started to put a few little things together. But in the end, he was never able to establish himself as an absolute must-roster guy. But when you see something like that transpire early in the season, what do? You get out ahead of it, right? Stone tablets, the commandments. You get out ahead of it. Let's just see. Now, I actually don't think that Fears has got the upside to be a consistent top 100 player. I don't think he's maintaining 2 steals a game. 5 assists, possible. His ability to draw free throws is impressive. So maybe there's something there. But there is a lot of Quenton George. This part of the difference also is that he's going to be on a team where Jordan Poole, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy are getting a lot of usage too. So is Fears a smart ad? Yes. Will it work out? I'd say probably not. Honestly, it probably won't. But you take finding these sort of players, even when it doesn't hit, you take the chance in case. The second most added player is Jusuf Nurkic, and that is just surely because Walker Kessler is sitting on Sunday. You don't need to worry about that unless, of course, Kessler's out longer term, which he might be. It's not just a single game rest, so watch that. Adem Bona, also one of the most added because Joel Embiid is out on Sunday. Moussa Diabate, one of the most added because Ryan Kalkbrenner is in doubt for Sunday. And then Fanapants Kevin Huerter. So those are the 3. Nurkic, Bona, Diabate. They're just replacement centers. And Bona is not a long-term guy. Diabate, I don't think it's a long-term situation here. Nurkic, fingers crossed, isn't, but might be. Kevin Huerter is one of the more interesting ones because he is playing really well. And when Kobe White returns, we can change our tune on this. But what Huerter is doing is not all that dissimilar to what you're getting from Grayson Allen or even like a Royce O'Neal in Phoenix at the moment. Someone who's stepping in and doing enough, but even when their role is on the bench, it's not inconceivable they could be valuable. So for now, we just don't know when Kobe White is returning. So for now, like Huerter is a 12-team league option. He's not a great one. He's not blowing the doors off, but he is pretty good. And I do think that he is underrepresented on fantasy-wise at the moment, or fantasy rosters at the moment. If you look at Yahoo's top 5 players, they use a 24-hour reporting window here. Number 1 there is Isaiah Joe. He was awesome last time out, first game of the season. I really don't think that he repeats that, but as a 3 streamer, absolutely. The second name is probably one of the ones you want to hear about the most, and that is Quenton Jackson, who was ridiculously good. The last game we saw from Quenton, he started 2 in a row. He played 31 minutes. He had 25 points with 6 rebounds, 10 assists, and 3 steals. The game before, he played 22 minutes as a starter, had 15, 4, and 4 with a steal and a block. Both those games, excellent. He has shot 50% or higher in all 4 games that he's played this season. I wouldn't be sitting there like expecting that from Quenton Jackson. Jackson's not a bad player. He's not a great player. He's a capable NBA player. This is his 4th NBA season. And he has had decent enough field goal percentage over those first 3 years in limited sample size. The reason, again, he's been added, obviously, because there's an opportunity here. But 2 games ago, it was Ray J. Dennis that was getting all the minutes. And I'll tell you this, when we look at longer-term values on someone like Jackson, right, it's okay to grab him now and let's see what happens. But I don't think there's any way that this holds. Nembhard, Mathurin, and McConnell, all to come back. He's got no way of sticking here. We don't have, I guess the thing is that we don't have timetables necessarily on Mathurin or on Nembhard. I think Nembhard might be back pretty soon. Mathurin, I don't know. But there is no real way that Jackson's going to continue to do this. So when you are making a decision on a drop, if you're adding him, which is totally okay to add him for the short term, be very cautious. Like, don't do something like, I'm going to drop Desmond Bane. Like, I personally, in the category, would not drop Josh Minot for Quenton Jackson. Even though it's very easily conceivable Jackson outperforms him the next week. What is the pathway to this player being a 30-minute-a-night starter rest of the season? It's invisible. The path doesn't exist. It's washed away in the rains. It's gone. It's not there. Simone Fontecchio, one of the most added players. Okay. Like, I guess like Norman Powell has been out. Fontecchio is shooting the lights out. But if there's one thing you know about that, it's not going to happen. Like, it's just, he will not be this player. I don't care what a ranking system says. I don't care where it positions or what he's done. He's hitting 3 threes a game. That is great. And he's doing it on 59% shooting from 3. Okay, sick. He had 18 points and 5 threes. He's been double digits in every game. Awesome. Right? The shooting has been out of this world. But that's it. He doesn't do anything else. The shooting will not stick. And I don't think that he needs to be any level of 10, 100, 130, 150 league priorities. 14s? Knock yourself out, man. Like, go for it. It's okay. But what we're getting at the moment is such an outrageous like level up from what we expect that there's just no chance. DeAndre Hunter? Yeah, like absolutely. Just roster DeAndre Hunter, one of the most added players should be. And then Jalen Tyson, which is one of those ones again where it's interesting, but people have added it based on the last game, and it might get wiped if Mitchell plays. And if Merrill plays. It might be completely useless. The long-term ability of Tyson to make that impact, it isn't, the path isn't there. It required like 4 starters being out to get him there. Now, again, some of that is like single game streaming, which is cool. What's understandable. We get that, right? They play on Sunday against the Hawks. But when you're talking long-term, it's just not there. The last 2 games, excellent stuff. 3 steals in one, 3 blocks in another. Like, that's really good. Almost 20 points in both games. But the realistic nature of what Tyson is just, it's not a long-term sacrifice. That is a stream-type move. We'll come back. We'll talk drops. We'll talk hot players. We'll talk some droppable guys as well. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match. With Robinhood, you play for the win, not just on game day, but every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, and then beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. And you can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools. Or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, so expect more from your money. Get started today at robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that is robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. Today's episode is also brought to you by Game Time. The NBA season is here and you might want to get to a game to watch Jeremiah Fears. You might want to get there to watch Simone Fontecchio. And getting into the arena, it's great. You love doing it, but you don't want it to be an annoying process. You don't want buying tickets to be a pain. You don't want additional fees. You don't want surprise surges. You don't want long queues. Game Time is the app that gives fans the advantage. It's the ultimate life hack for scoring amazing NBA tickets fast, easy, and stress-free. The zone deals, they make it so easy. Just pick an area of the arena you want to sit, and Game Time picks your seat and saves you big. You can even find NBA tickets for under $25. So take the guesswork out of buying NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. The code is LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. All right. Let's talk more fantasy basketball waiver wire stuff. We talked about the most added players. Let's talk about some guys that have been dropped across our numbers on Basketball Monster and across on Yahoo. So the top 5 names here of players being dropped over the last 48 hours. It reads like a pretty easy list here. Like let's jack together.
Get that garbage out of here!
Thanks, John Armstrong, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, easy 10-teamers, 130s, easy 12-team drops. Brook Lopez is an easy 14-team drop. If you're in a 14-team league, 175, 180 player league for Chris Middleton, debatable, but you could probably do more streaming. Easy drops. The next name I find really interesting, Dick Johnson III. And I will give credit to Trey Johnson for not putting us through the facade, the absolute foolishness that is Trey Murphy in New Orleans' name, where he puts himself out there as Trey Murphy III. Oh, that must mean your dad is Trey Murphy Jr. or Trey Murphy II. Wrong. It's not. It's Kenneth Murphy. At least Trey, whose name is Dick Johnson, understands that if I'm going to call myself Trey because I'm the third, then I'm just Trey. So that's why he's Trey. There's a lot of Treys going on. I've got one fantasy team that my bench had 4 Treys on it. Trey Jones, Trey Young, Trey Mann, and Trey Johnson. Didn't have Trey Murphy though, because I rebuke his naming situation. Anyway, Dick Johnson, the third. We looked like it was pushing up. We looked like he was going to take over from Bub Carrington. And what I did talk about with Trey Johnson was when he came out of Texas, he was a very empty player. In order to get a lot of fantasy, he needs a lot of scoring and doing it efficiently. And he was pretty efficient. But now, the minutes have pulled back a bit. The usage has pulled back. And when you don't have assists, steals, rebounds, blocks to support it, it's tough. And Bilal came in straight into the starting lineup. Bub on the bench. The path for Trey is very limited. It's going to require CJ or Middleton moving on now, I'm guessing, or being very much downsized. And I don't know. This is a stash scenario for Trey, not a must roster. Jared Vanderbilt bar's been dropped. Sure, Luka's back. He's out of there. Played like 12 minutes last game. Easy. And then slamming Sammy Hauser. You stream in one of the Sams for 3s, and you drop the Sams after that. He's lost his starting spot at the moment to Josh Minott. If we go to Yahoo and look at the most dropped players over there. Camcorder enthusiast. Ray J. Dennis. Yeah. We saw a big output from Ray J. It was big. And now it's gone. Faded into the memories of history. And it's his replacement, Quenton Jackson, who's doing the work. So yeah, go and drop Ray J. It is interesting that people have dropped the national tile himself, Jarace Walker. Hello! Because, yeah, like, his last game didn't shoot well. But guess what he is? A terrible shooter. But like we've said all along, the role is really important here. He can be a 6'7", 6, 1, 1 with 1.63s player. And even 6 points is a bit low. Maybe it's 9 points. Maybe it's 10 points. And it might be 35%. But if you added him and didn't understand you had bad field goals, that's on you, man. That's on you. I would not have dropped him after that game. I looked at it and went, it's Jarace Walker, man. Like, this is what happens. So unless people had unrealistic expectations or were trying a one-game stream, or they've fallen for the oldest trick in the book, the chase. Big game from Jarace, let's add him. Bad game, let's drop him. You're always going to be off, man. You're always going to miss. If you wait till the huge game to add and then drop after the next bad one, you're never going to have success. You're just churning and burning. So I would not have dropped Jarace Walker. Now, when other players come back, sure, move on. Done. Tristan Da Silva, why was he added anyway? All right, I guess the people chased it. I think he had a 16-point game. People chased that, I guess. See you later. People added Dwight Powell because they expected that Lively, Gafford, and Davis were all out. But Gafford returned, so move on from Powell. And Ben Shepherd, who admittedly, you're starting, you're playing 30 minutes. I'm going to try this. He was terrible. Now he has moved to the bench. So he is an easy drop. Like, bye-bye, see you later, Ben Shepherd. When I was looking through, like, over the next couple of weeks in terms of top 100 projected players, no one really stood out as a really under-rostered guy that I wanted to include as a must-roster guy. You know, there are scenarios where I go, well, you should have him or you consider him, but no one will go, this is egregious, why is he not grabbed? So I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to go through some names now that I believe are droppable players. And one of the names on this list, the first name here that I need to address is the starting center of the New Orleans Pelicans, Yves Missi. He's 19% rostered on Yahoo. That's not a particularly high number, but he's 71% on Basketball Monster, meaning that in 12-team leagues, he's majority rostered for active leagues. Why? Well, why? He's averaging 23 minutes as a starter. It might go to 27, but Kevon Looney is going to come back. He's averaging 8 points, 6.8 rebounds. The 72% is nice. It's incredibly low volume, and he's getting a block a game. Look, if he was rostered in 40% of leagues, I'd go, okay. I sort of get it. But I don't. What's he got upside to do? Be a big scorer? No. Block more shots? We literally have never seen it. Upside for way more minutes? I don't think so. Looney and Queen are going to do more, I'm assuming. I don't understand this. And that field goals, they're not going higher. They're probably going lower, if anything. So I really just don't get it. I don't see the appeal. It doesn't make sense to me. You can, especially in a points league, like, stop that. Stop that immediately. No way. Steven Adams. Houston's Yves Missi. A lot of people went and grabbed him. I actually copped a bit of shit for that when, like, he started the start of the season. How come you haven't talked about Adams as a must roster? This is why. Because I didn't think he was going to persist at 25 minutes or at that level of production, or that he was going to keep starting every game. Now, I don't also think he's going to remain coming off the bench every single game. But he is a specific rebound specialist. That is it. You don't need to be rostering him. And he is rostered still, like, in over 70% of leagues on Basketball Monster. Some of these names you'll think somewhat controversial. Like, I don't know why I put Ben Shepherd on that list. That's a carrier from the last slide. Of course you're dropping him. But, like, Dylan Harper. Is Dylan Harper a must-roster guy? That's always going to depend on your scenario. Any stash situation? Yes. Weekly leagues, larger benches, games caps, roto leagues, stash him. But when we try to project stuff out, do I think he's really good? Yes. Did they dial back his minutes a little bit lately? Also, yes. Is Castle playing well? Yes. Is De'Aaron Fox returning? Yes. So where's the pathway to be a 32-minute-a-night player breaking down the doors of the top 100? If you can squint that hard, good luck to you. You'll probably give yourself crow's feet. But if you can squint that hard to do it, that's okay. But if I need to make a call because I'm like, hey, I want to grab this guy, there's top 50 value for a week coming up here or whatever it is. Or I want to take a flyer on Jeremiah Fears, for example, because I think he might lock down 30 minutes a night as a starter. Whereas Harper, I don't know, even though I think Harper's a way better player. You've got to know if a guy is, in your opinion, or in mine, or whatever, but mainly in yours, like, do you think that there is a real path for this guy fully blowing up? And I'm not sure that it's there for Harper. And the same goes for Davion Mitchell. When I put anyone on this list as a droppable guy, there's always chances they just have big games. That happens. Big games happen, good games happen, bad games happen, it all happens. You could drop someone, they go off the next game. And it's very hard to try to work and play in fantasy going, on this specific day, this guy will be great, and this guy will be bad. It's like the chasing example of Jarace Walker before. That's why I also hate the sleeper format. It's very hard to be able to figure stuff out because there's a lot of day-to-day variance. So, like, I could say drop Davion Mitchell, and literally today he comes out and has 12 points, 12 rebounds, 12 assists, 12 steals. Probably not likely, but like, no, 12, 6, and 10 with 3 steals for Davion could actually happen today. You go, oh, you said to drop him. No, I didn't. I said that if you're looking for moves as a longer-term thing, his overall upside is not that high. He's not going to produce regularly at a good enough level. Hero is returning. Powell will be returning. He's not good enough to lock down a roster spot on the hopes that one time you get a good game. And that's how I like to view those sort of scenarios. We've got more stuff to talk about on the waiver wire. Before we do that, though, today's episode, it is brought to you by the big fellas over at Rugiet. Making excuses. It doesn't solve anything. You've heard them before. It's stress. I'm tired. Happens to everyone sometimes. The big fella's not big fellaring. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little bit of extra support, and that's where Rugiet comes in. Rugiet.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED, designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rugiet makes it easy to get started. You connect with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, with no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. And if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly to your door. It's fast, it's simple, and it's private, and it's all handled by real doctors. The process of the medication, of course, not the big fella. So visit rugiet.com/lockedonnba to get 15% off your first order. That is rugiet.com/lockedonnba. And don't forget to use our code LOCKEDONNBA so that they know that we sent you. Rugiet. Stop making excuses and start making moves. Let's continue with our fantasy basketball waiver wire show. Let's just take a look at some players who at the moment are so hot right now. Who are the guys that you probably wouldn't realize it, and these are names we haven't talked about on the show so far, but they're top 100 guys, or close enough to top 100 guys, over the last week. The number one guy on this list, I've mentioned him a couple of times on recaps during the week, but Peyton Watson. Now, we have all been, let me rephrase, some of us have been surprised and disappointed by the output of Christian Braun and Cam Johnson. Some of us have been. Part of the reason of that is they're not as good as you may have thought they were. But also, it's this guy. Peyton Watson's been playing well. Now, he is just not rostered anywhere. Not at all. He's a top 100 player over the last week, per game. He's 3% rostered Yahoo, only 2% on Basketball Monster. He's only playing 23 minutes a night. How is he getting there? Look, on stuff that is admittedly unsustainable. 1.3 steals and 2 blocks a game is crazy. That is in 3 games. But what I want you to look at is last season, when he was coming off the bench, he'd play like 16 minutes. David Adam, when he's like, yeah, Brown, maybe you're not it. Bruce Brown, you might be washed. Cam Johnson, bro, what are you doing? Let's get more Peyton in there. And they are. 9 points, 3.7 rebounds, 1.3 steals, 2 blocks. It is not outrageous. It's not outrageous to look at Watson and say, well, okay, well, he won't block 2 shots, but 1.3 steals, 1 block a game in 25 minutes, in 23 minutes. 9 and 4, 2 assists, a 3. Is that for everybody? No. Is it like not that far off Josh Minot? No, it's not. If that is the skill set you're looking for, and this is, again, way more category league based than points for Peyton, but if that's the skill set that you wanted to get with Minot and someone spent $800 of their $1,000 fab budget on him and you missed out because you were reasonable, maybe just have maybe just a quick look at what Peyton's up to. I think you'd be surprised to have known that Pig Williams is also inside the top 100. And by the time you're watching this, you'll know that he started Sunday's game. I don't know how he did there. Chet's out with a back injury. Last season, when Chet and Hartenstein would rest, this man, I think, posted 4 consecutive triple-doubles. He's the 95th ranked player at the moment, and today's his first start. Jalen Williams, again, we don't have to grab him, but as a stream guy, even in this current role with Holmgren out, look, there's obviously something happening there. And he's like rostered nowhere. We already know that Demetrius Morant is suspended 1 game. Cam Spencer, even before Morant misses, is 99th over the last week. So he is an elite stream for Sunday. But also, like, I have no idea what's going to happen with Morant. Do you think, based on Ja Morant and his history, that we won't get any other incidences happening? I don't think I'm willing to make that bet. And while Pippen and Jerome aren't available, Like, Spencer's doing this right now as Morant's backup. As his backup right now. If you're in a 175, a 200-player league, Spencer, automatic add. If you want to stream him for Sunday, great. 175 league, add. 150, debatable, but like the numbers are there. Dayron Sharp as Nick Claxton's backup is cooking. 102nd ranked player. It's not technically top 100, but it's there. It's more one of those deeper league ones and rebound streams. And then also, we detailed him earlier this week. Mike Conley, you don't necessarily want to go grab him, but he's 104th. And with Anthony Edwards out, his minutes are up to like 26, 27. He's only going to get single-digit points, but you might get 6 assists and 1.5 steals. And if that floats your boat, well, get ready to get nautical, bitches, because here we are. I've got 5 more names that I want to talk about on this waiver wire show that just deserve some attention. Brandon Pajemski. It's just one of those guys, right? It's very hard to feel confident. Very hard to feel confident. He will start some games and play 26 minutes and be useless, and then he'll play 35 and look dominant. I think we got both of those over the last 3 days. If you want to look at Pajemski as a guy to have on a 12-team roster, totally reasonable decision to do. But to me, he's the guy that I don't really have a good name for this, but it's the guy that when you show me your team and he's on it, I look at your team and go, oh, whatever, like, that's fine. And then if you show me your waiver and go, who's the best ad, and Pajemski's on it, and I'll go, whatever. Like, it's just like, I don't care. It's fine either way. Does he have to be held? No. Can he be? Sure. If we get 33 minutes of Pajemski consistently, then yeah. And there is the potential of doing that. But we also have to weigh up the fact that if DeAnthony Melton returns, like, that's an extra impediment. And we know the foreseeable future legend Steve Kerr is going to mix and match. Remember Moses Moody was going to start? He got 8 minutes last game. I'm going to put Anfernee Simons here just as we are very close to dropping notification. He doesn't play that much. He's a low-minute player who's incredibly empty and needs 33 with big usage to even sniff the top 100. But that's why you guys all avoided him at ADP, yeah? Because you listen to everything I say. No, you don't, and you shouldn't. You should never listen to everything that I say. Actually, that's not true. You can listen to everything that I say, but you take the information and use it however you want. You don't follow everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't follow everything I say. Listen, because I try to explain things as to why I believe certain scenarios. All right, so me and Anfernee Simons, not interested. Never looked at him, never touched him, never mock drafted him, never touched it. Unless it got to like 120s or something in some random mocks. But it's not surprising to me to see him performing so poorly. It's not surprising. So when I look at him and I see my projections having him like 160th or something now, after it being way worse than even I thought, okay, I go, well, if you dropped him, I think it's okay. But there's a lot of name brand cachet still in Simons. So if you wanted to hold, I do get it. Keaton Wallace is just going to be a specialist assists stream. I believe he might have just popped up on the injury report for Sunday. But if you're looking for 6 assists as a backup while Trey is out, again, the Isaiah Collier mold. You're not doing nothing else, but getting 6 assists is pretty useful. And the last name there is just, again, I don't think that this is real, but Isaiah Jackson. Because you got Isaiah Jackson, Tony Bradley, Jay Huff. And Jay Huff might play 20 minutes, then 9. And then Jackson played 47 minutes on the back-to-back. Like, how? What? And he was pretty good, but, like, not awesome. He's at least back into my, 25 minutes of Jackson might be enough. But I don't know that that's a trustable thing. I just wanted to flag it back onto the radar that he seems to be, for the last 2 games, the center de jour. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll have that. So, we just keep an eye on Isaiah Jackson. A bung eye, but we keep it on there. Go. Oh, yeah, I think it's an early morning. Guys, I think you know what I want you to do. I want you to thumb audio and video. Some may say that's a double bang. I'd take a triple even at this point. Comment, hype. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.